all based around Joblogic Enterprise. So I'm going to go into my Joblogic screen, and as I said, starting from the beginning, Planlogic is obviously the ability to record plan maintenance and plan maintenance visits to sites. Now with Planlogic now, you don't need an asset to create a contract for a site. It can be purely task type based, purely asset based, or both combined. So for instance, you could have a landscaping company who visit a property between May and September just to mow the lawns. They wouldn't have the lawn as an asset, they would just have a task type as a job. Whereas obviously you've got bigger companies that look after AC and boilers and security and fire systems. They all can use assets as well as task types alongside them. So we're going to start this by looking at setting up a task type. Now I know this might be very straightforward to some of you guys, but again, as I said, we're going to take it from the beginning. So inside Core Logic, we have a miscellaneous section, and in there we have a codes menu. Now the codes menu is where my task type category lives, and as you can see, what I've done, just to save us a little bit of time today guys, is I've set up a few little examples I want to play with. So I'm looking at bi-weekly window cleaning, I've got PPM annual, PPM monthly, PPM quarterly, and so on. The only reason I'm going to use these combined with an asset is because it's going to benefit me on my scheduling, it's going to benefit me on my job desk, it's going to benefit me on my reporting and searching. So I can look at my job desk, see it's a PPM job, but know that my task type is right alongside it on the job desk, showing me that it's a bi-weekly window clean, or it's a PPM monthly service on a boiler, and so on. So your task types are going to help you search, report, and schedule better for your PPM. Okay, so that's the first thing I wanted just to show you this morning. So what we're going to do now is we're going to then move on to the assets. Now your assets guys live inside your sites. So inside your site screen here, you have a list of all your sites, and obviously you want to highlight the site that you're looking to plan the maintenance contract on, and you have an assets register in the right hand corner. The asset register is where you will hold any details of the assets at that site. Now you can do this obviously if you win a PPM contract and you are normally given all the asset details, all the visit frequencies and so on. This is where you're going to record your assets. But don't forget, with Joblogic Mobile, your engineers can have the permission to record assets on site if you trust them enough to do it. Okay, that's the big question. But they can insert brand new assets to site. So for example, you could send a job to Dave the engineer, the job could be a survey, he could go to site and quite simply log every single asset in one particular plant room or one building, or etc. Okay, I've preempted this webinar again by getting some items ready. I want to just talk through a couple with you. So you can see in Office 120 here, I have a Dakin cassette unit. For all those AC customers that are listening in, this will make a little bit of sense, although the model number probably won't. You can see I've put in all my details about this Dakin cassette unit, and this not only is for you, the Joblogic user. Remember, this is also for your engineer, and it's also for any reports or any certificates that come out of the system. So don't cut corners here guys, take the time and fill this in as fully as possible. Okay, some of the fields won't be relevant to you. System ID might not make any sense to some of you out there. Leave it, it's not mandatory. Asset number or asset tagging, not a lot of companies do it, but some do. So again, if you don't, just leave it and you can walk past it. Again, down the bottom here, we've got some installation and warranty expiry and labour warranty expiry notes. What this is basically going to do is if you install the unit and you give it a warranty and you set that warranty in place, when you log, say just going off path for a minute, if you log a reactive job to this Dakin cassette unit, it will notice the installation warranty and labour warranty dates here, and it will automatically make the job non-chargeable if it's in warranty. So please be mindful of that. If you didn't know that Joblogic does that, if you put a warranty date that's relevant and still in date, it will make your job non-chargeable. Okay, obviously you can flick it back over to chargeable if you want, but the whole idea is there is a warranty in place, so we shouldn't be charging. I've also got some notes saying office is locked, training room, see office 117 for the keys. And again, just another example for some of you might be listening with different trades and disciplines. This is a different example of how you can set it up. These are smoke detectors in 4 different offices. So what I've done here is put the actual smoke detectors in, and then the quantity is 15. So whereas before I had a boiler and my quantity was 1, this is 15, and I've actually listed each set of detectors in each office. So you don't have to list 37 smoke detectors on one floor of an office building. You can put the quantity like that, as we said, and put it in there. Okay, but obviously what you wouldn't use is a serial number, because you've got a number of items rather than a unique record. So these are your asset details, and again guys, this is unlimited. You can put 1 in here, you can put 115 here, you can put 400, 1,000, it doesn't matter. It's unlimited, okay, but this is your asset register. Right, that's a little bit of setup that I just wanted to discuss. What we're going to do now is we're going to move on to the Planlogic menu itself. So this is where you will plan a plan maintenance contract. Okay, so we're going to open Planlogic. When you open the screen, what you have is a list of all your active sites. So you can see at the top here, I can see my active sites, I can see my suspended sites, or I can see all of them. Obviously it defaults to active because we've come in here for a specific reason to plan a contract. So what we've got then is a list of all my sites that I've got made up here. So I'm going to look and use the bakery in Birmingham that we were talking about a little while ago on the asset screen. Again guys, with these standard Joblogic search engines at the top, search filters, you can search by a number of items and type in your search criteria, hit the go button, and it will go and find you a specific site, postcode, start date, contact, etc. When I highlight my bakery, you can see down here there is a site plan detail button, and on the right hand side there is a list of buttons that you can also use. The way we always teach this in training is think of the buttons as asking you questions. So have you come in here to generate jobs? Well, no, because this is the first time I'm using it. I'm putting my contract on. Have you come in here to look at plans due to expire, look at the settings, or close a screen? No. So the only one that makes sense currently for us today at the moment is the ability to put in site plan details. We open that screen up and you can see that it's blank because we have no PPM contracts. So 2 buttons that are active at this point. You have a site asset screen, and the site asset screen is going to show you exactly what we were just looking at in the site screen earlier. It's a double check. It's to make sure that you're happy with the assets and so on that you're going to be planning against. And then quite simply where we're going to start is we're going to create a new plan. It's warning me that I've got no financial end date to this contract. It's a friendly warning, it won't stop you. It's just warning me that I have no billing against this contract, and that's something I'm going to mention at the end, guys, just to sort of put this to bed, but I'll come back to this in a little while. When I open the screen now, on the left hand side I've got my little cursor here, and I've also got above it the date range. So this is the first question. What is the date range of the contract you're about to enter in? It defaults to a year, okay? But obviously you can drop this down, you can forward by months, you can come back by months, and you can also increase it by years by clicking on the year and then selecting the date, like so. my plan description, so I could put in here PPM contract, and all it is, this is for you guys, so this is for you to have as, you know, sort of a much reference about it as you can get in, so you know what you're looking at when you open up Planlogic. So PPM contract, and I'm going to put in there, I'm just going to put in the boiler service for now. If I've got a reference of my customer, I can put it in this field, and also if they give me an order number, which is a separate thing altogether, I can put a planned order number in there as well. Now we move on to the dates. Now the dates can be used in two ways. You can manually go into dates and start clicking and putting them in there and specifically planning. So this is really useful if you've got one of those customers that likes you to go every 5.5 weeks, or they like you to go every 11 weeks or 10 weeks, or, you know, something out of the ordinary. And what I mean by ordinary is your monthly, your weekly, your quarterly, your biannually, etc., etc. So you can click happily along in here and put as many dates in as you want. I'm going to remove these because I want to show you the date range engine down here. Now the date range engine, as you can probably guess, pre-populates dates for you. So I can say to it, I want to go to this site the same date every month, starting from the 2 dates that I put in the date range here. I can drop this down to bi-monthly, I can drop it down to quarterly, I can drop it down to 6 monthly, and so on. You don't need me to explain every single option here. I'm sure you guys can all read that. You've then got the same day every week, fortnight, 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, or 12 weeks. Or the first Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, etc. or the second, third, or fourth of the month. So we think we've pretty much got everything, along with daily. We think we've pretty much got everything covered there, guys. If you think of anything else, then let us know at the end. But we think we've got everything just about covered there. So when you have your dates put in, hit generate, and you can see it will pre-populate all my dates for me, starting from that Friday through to the Saturday, and it's given me a list of all my dates. The orange dates are quite simply warning you they're weekends. Now, is this important? Yeah, it's good to know, but it's likely to cause you no bother whatsoever, because what it'll do is it's just highlighting the fact that if you plan it in for this day, it is going to be a Saturday or Sunday, but the likelihood is you're going to drop these into your diary and you're going to schedule them from Monday to Friday when they become active. But if you're one of the clients that likes to add engineers inside Planlogic, because you have specific engineers for specific tasks, you can quite simply click on the Saturday and it will highlight it in the calendar for you. If you then click on the following Monday, you'll see it's dropped the Monday underneath for me. I can go back to my Saturday and simply remove it. Okay, so this is a little simple cleanup exercise you could do if, like me, you have quite bad OCD. I like going into my plan maintenance contracts and removing the orange ones and putting them in with Mondays after, but that's entirely up to you. So everything there, dates, description, order numbers, all reference, all ready to go for you. When you're ready, you simply hit save. So it confirms it saved our dates for us, and now it moves us on to well, not the important screen, but the screen where it does get, if you like, into the finer details of the plan maintenance contract. So we're going to spend a few minutes on this screen, guys. There's a lot of options here that you can use. You don't have to, but there are a lot of things that can do some really good tricks for you. So I'm going to take my time and just explain a few of these for you now. Down this bottom left hand screen here, you can see this is the schedule of our job dates. It's given us the dates, it's given us the number of assets that are currently planned to that date, which is 0 at the moment. This is where you can assign the engineer at this point, should you wish. Okay, and as we said, it's up to you whether you want the engineer assigned at this point or not. There's no harm in doing it, but what you need to be aware of is the moment you plan the engineer in here, the moment you generate the job for this October visit, it will automatically put it in his diary at 8 o'clock in the morning. Okay, so that won't appear in your diary ready for you to drag and drop. It will automatically allocate it, and that's just something that you need to be aware of. Next to that, we've got our visit start and end dates, which again you can change, you can alter and you can edit. But we've also got here, first time we've come across a choice for our task types. Okay, so these are the task types that again are going to help you search, schedule and report on different aspects of your PPM. So I'm going to come back to these in a minute to show you how you link them to your assets. Okay, for those of you that do price per visit, you can put a price in here. You heard me mention earlier, guys, about frequent billing. Frequent billing is the Joblogic module that allows you to bill at a set period a set amount of money. So for instance, if you win a PPM contract and it's £12,000 a year and you want to bill that customer £1,000 a month, regardless of how many visits you do, frequent billing is for you. Okay, if you're the type of our customer that says, well, we bill our maintenance contract when each job is complete, this is for you. Okay, so if this was your contract and you wanted to send an invoice after every single job was completed, you can simply put £250 in there. You can simply put £250 in there, and so on. Okay, I'm going to show you in a minute how you can do this a lot quicker as well. We've got some other columns here that again we're going to touch on as we go through this. Forecast time will make sense when we start looking at the assets. The job description, what this allows you to do, guys, is in the settings screen that you heard me mention at the start, Joblogic will automatically put in some default text that you can determine, you can set up yourself in the settings screen. But what you can also do is put specific text in here, like so. Okay, so you can do whatever you want with the description, and what it'll do is add this to your default text in the settings section, which we'll finish up with on this webinar. And then finally you can put a specific order number in there should you wish to as well. Okay, so there's a lot of information you can pre-arm on the job, and remember, guys, this is all about setup. This is all about getting it ready. Get it ready right once and you don't have to touch it again. All you have to do is maintain it as you go through. Okay, everything you do on Planlogic, when I set this up for a 3-year plan, a 2-year plan, a 5-year plan, the maximum is 12, guys. If you set up a 5-year plan, you put all the assets in, all the visit types, all the task types, the prices, everything. At the end of that 5-year or 8 weeks before that 5-year period, Joblogic is going to offer you the chance to renew that plan maintenance contract. Do it right once and you only have to press 3 buttons and the next 5 years are planned again. Okay, with all the new dates, all the existing assets, all the prices, the markup, everything. Okay, so how do we use this screen then? Well, you can use this, for those of you who are friendly with Excel, if you like, you can use these boxes like an Excel spreadsheet. So I can hold Control down on my keyboard and I can highlight different visits, because I might say that those 5 visits there is when I'm going to go to my boiler. So I simply highlight those 5 visits and then I can go and choose my Baxi combi boiler, and I can tell Joblogic to add it to the selected asset on the selected dates. And now you can see I have 1 asset on those 5 dates. Okay, again, while I've got them like this, I can go into my task type and I can say this is PPM monthly visit. Again, I can highlight those 5 visits like so, and I can say to Joblogic, copy down here, copy my task type to those visits, and it will. Okay, so these can be used like an Excel spreadsheet in the sense of you can also click in the corner, light everything up, click in the corner, light everything up, and add everything to every record. So I've got all my 4 things there, against every single visit now. Okay, but again, you can go in and you can edit anything you want on each particular visit. So in here, I might take all of these out and just say I'm going to have a task type of window cleaning. So I don't need an asset for my window cleaning. My task type is enough. Okay, hopefully that's making sense to you. You can either use a task type, you can use an asset, or you can combine them both like I have here, and you can make use of both of them. Okay, so again, my price here, £250. I can light up the entire sheet and tell Joblogic at the bottom, copy my price, £250 on every single visit now. That easy. Okay, couple of things on this third window I just want to talk you through. I've got my assets against my January visit here. What I can do is I can actually say this Baxi Combi boiler, I know it says that this could be my monthly visit, but I can actually state that on this monthly visit I want you to do a quarterly service. So I'm telling my engineer there's more to do than the standard monthly service. Okay, so those of you that are, say, for instance, involved with water hygiene, you might do weekly checks, Legionella checks, etc., an office. So week 1 you can do a weekly test, week 2 you can do a weekly test, week 3 weekly test, but on week 4 you do a nice big monthly clean down, disinfect, whatever it might be. Okay, so these visit types allow you to determine what needs to happen on each visit, as well as forecasting the time scale for that visit as well. So you might say that this one is a 4-hour visit because it's quarterly, whereas this one is 1 hour's worth of time because it's monthly. But what you can see here, it's adding up what you believe or how long you believe this visit will take. Okay, so again guys, you don't have to use everything, but obviously if you set it up right once and you set it up fully, this is going to do nothing but benefit you and your engineers and any user of Joblogic. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. As we said, Glenn's busy answering some questions as we're going along, but if you've got some questions at the end, or you want someone to sort of go through this again with you, let us know, and what we'll do. You can obviously see a video on our website. We've got the user guides on our website as well, but we're more than happy to give you a call and say, okay, what didn't you understand? Let's walk through that again. Once I've done all this, once I'm happy, I simply hit save. It confirms I've saved everything, and I click on OK. And that, quite simply guys, is your contract armed, ready to go. So what's the next step? Well, the next step now is, this is where in training we talk to you about your process in the office, and we try and guide you, but obviously guys, it's your process. All my buttons have lit up here, so I can go in at any point, add further dates, edit dates, take dates away. But what I can't do, which you'll see shortly, is when you generate a job or you generate a visit, this will grey out and it won't let you do anything with it, because obviously you've produced a job for it, so you can't alter that then. I've also got my plan information, so again I can edit things in here, look at things I might have missed, and again just save and it'll confirm it all for you, like so. Plan renewal we'll come to at the end, and obviously plan delete is pretty self-explanatory. It will delete your plan out of the screen, and you can start again. Okay, if we go back to the main Planlogic screen, the way we talk about this guys is that your maintenance should be a process in your office, be it, you know, we're at the end of October now, so if I could take you to half a dozen companies I've trained in the last 6 months, and the same with Glenn, and say, right, what jobs are you producing today? And I can guarantee you they'll be saying, we're doing December's. because we're almost on top of November now, so my planned maintenance, my labour resources should be planned in already. What I'm doing now is I'm 4, 6, maybe even 8 weeks in advance with my maintenance planning, and I should be looking to do December's. Okay, so, but as I said, this isn't us telling you what to do. This is quite simply a process thing where we'll give you ideas, but you'll go away and obviously put your own processes into place. If you click on Planlogic, what we're going to look at now is generating my job. So somebody's responsibility in your office is to go into this menu once a month, once every 6 or 8 weeks, and that's probably the maximum, guys. There's no need to produce a year's worth of work and flood your job desk. There just isn't. If you want to see forecasts of labour and you want to see plans and so on, you've got a nice plan report in Joblogic. You can go into there and say, right, let's look what's due January next year. Let's look what's due February next year. You don't have to produce all the jobs just so you can keep an eye on them, okay? Click on Planlogic and you'll see down the bottom right hand side here, I have a Generate Jobs button. My Generate Jobs button is going to open the generation job screen, and it's going to give you yet another Joblogic search engine. It's saying, okay, when do you want me to start looking for anything that's due between what dates? So I can say, well, go to October and give me all of November's. I'm a little bit late sorting out my maintenance this month. Which customer do you want to scan? Everyone. Specific customer, specific site, specific areas. You can do any of these 3 filters. Now, the way areas is quite nice in the way it works. If any of you guys are, say, based down south and you've got one client in, say, Dumfries or somewhere like that up north, you could just go and say, well, check all my customers, or check my one particular customer in Dumfries, check the area and see if there's any planned maintenance jobs due. So it makes you more proactive with your planned maintenance scheduling. Okay, so you might get a reactive call out in the Outer Hebrides, for argument's sake. You can come into Planlogic and say, show me if we've got anything due in the Outer Hebrides, and just select the area. Okay, so what we're going to do is say all customers, all sites, all areas between these 2 dates. Now, just so we get a bit more guts in our results, guys, a few more results if you like, I'm just going to do it for 2 months because I want a few more things to pop up for you to look at. I'm going to hit Generate Jobs, and Joblogic says these are the jobs that are about to be produced. I've got job number 1 with these amount of assets on it. I've got job number 2, these amount of assets on it, and job number 3 with a single task type. There is no asset on this job. It's also something nice and clever we put in, is it will also warn you if there's any suspended items on a site that you haven't picked up on. So it will say, well, this would have been produced, but you suspended or you decommissioned that item. So that's a nice little warning screen there. I can hit Generate Jobs, like so. And again, guys, forgive us for being hypersensitive about this. We give you yet another warning, a final warning. If you press this button, you will simply are about to generate all these jobs between that given date period. Click on OK. It says OK, I'm updating everything, and then Joblogic will come back and it will tell you it's created and auto-logged 3 jobs for you. So we've now got 3 brand new jobs in our job desk, and we've got 3 jobs in our unallocated section of our diary. Okay, so again, sorry to sort of labour the point, guys. Somebody's responsibility is to come in here once a month, once every 6-8 weeks, however you choose to do it, and generate these jobs. Joblogic won't wave a little flag on the screen and say you've got maintenance due this month. You have to go and ask it, is anything due this month or next month? Okay, whilst we're talking about that process in your office, somebody's responsibility also is, whilst they're in there, they may as well check to see if any plans are due to expire, which is in that bottom right hand corner. So again, click on the button, use those search filters. Anything due to expire in the next 8 weeks? No. Okay, let's just have a look at what it would do. So if I just put 55 weeks in there, click on go, and it'll say, yeah, you've got one ending at the custard factory. Now obviously that won't be relevant to today, but I've forced 55 weeks, so when I go and look at it, it'll say this is your plan that's due to expire, and it will have a big capital Y there next to expiry due. When you see the Y there, that's Joblogic saying, look, this is due to be done. Okay, then all you have to do, if you've looked after that contract, and what I mean by looked after is in maintained it, where you've decommissioned something, you've come into Joblogic and you've decommissioned that item in Joblogic. Where you've added something new to the contract, you've come into Joblogic and you've added it to the contract. You've looked after it over that 3 years. It means that when you come to renew it, you highlight it, you can hit plan renewal, and it's going to offer you the new dates compared to the old dates from the expiring contract. You then simply enter your new description, double check your date range, and hit generate new plan period and save down the bottom right hand corner, and that will take you through to the screen where we were looking at all the assets, all the dates, all the engineers, the prices, etc. That'll all be pre-populated, all ready to go, and all you have to do is commit it and save. Okay, I'm not going to do this on this one because it's going to mess up my nice clean data that I don't want to do, because we've got a few more webinars to look at yet. So simply press that button, it'll take everything you've done, show it you commit to it. That's your contract plan for the next three years. So simply, guys, 3 clicks. Okay, so keep that data clean and tidy as the contract's going along, and you'll have no problems with the renewal. Not that it'll cause you problems, because you'll just maintain it while you're in there, but it's easier to do it as you go along. Right, one thing I wanted to show you finally in the settings area here down on the right, only because I feel it's quite important. You've got a few default flags and colors and so on. We'll just leave you to have a play with them if you want to set your own color schemes up and so on. But it's this here. This is the job description that I was talking about. This is what shows on your job desk, your jobs and your reports. So if you don't like the terminology plan preventive maintenance PPM visit, I mean, I'm quite fond of it because I think it sticks out like a sore thumb on your job desk. You can change this to your terminology, like so. Okay, so it can be whatever you need it to be, guys. And obviously the cost description, for those of you that cost an invoice in the system, this is what will go through to your costing screen, and then obviously the asset notes are what's displayed above any notes you've put into that particular asset. Right, other than that, guys, one last thing before I let you shoot off. Before we shoot off, as I said, on my job desk, here are my planned visits that have been produced. So these are the ones that we've just done, and you can see there's my boiler visit maintenance there, where I added the extra text. If I double click in here, you can see all my details are in the job, and more importantly, in my asset screen, I've got my backseat boiler. It's telling me about the details on the backseat. I've got a pump in the plant room, I've got my Dakin, and I've got my smoke detector. So the engineer is fully armed with everything he needs on his mobile. Okay, so all these have been auto-logged by what you've just done. But what we've also got, which I mentioned earlier, is a planning report. Now the planning report is going to allow you to select a site. So if I choose my customer and I choose my bakery here, and I can see down here you've got this button that says include this site on the report, and a yes will appear here. But I can also add another one, and I can also go to another customer, click there, add that as well. So I'm adding 3 sites onto my report, and then simply all I'm going to do is in the top right hand corner I'm going to hit generate report, and it's going to do its Microsoft little spinny thing, a report showing all my scheduled work. Whoops, my eyesight's not that good, like so. but you can see it's mentioning all my sites, all the different assets, and then it's reverting to week numbers, telling me the type of visit I'm doing, quarterly and annually, and maintenance, and so on. So like I said earlier, you don't need to produce a year's worth of jobs to see them, you just go into this report. Some of our customers as well tell us that they produce this report for a year and then they attach it to the site in Joblogic, and then give the customer the ability to see that attachment in Weblogic, so they can, if they've got any questions about their PPM, they don't need to phone you, bother your staff, waste your time in the nicest possible way. They can go into Weblogic, they can see a forecast of all their planned maintenance and what's being worked on, as well as obviously in Weblogic we have a detailed PPM screen for them as well. Okay, obviously what we'd like to do now is at the end of every webinar we like to ask you to put any questions forward to myself and Glenn, and we'll answer them for you now. If you've got no questions, and I just like to thank you for your time and your attendance and your input, and like we said, any questions after the fact, or if you think of anything, then obviously please come back to the training team or the support team. We'll be happy to help. One last thing, guys, if you get a nice little email off us or off Citrix, if you like, could you please just spare us 30 seconds and fill in the email and let us know what you thought of the presentation of the webinar, if the sound has been okay, the video's been okay, and so on. You can create, yeah, yes you can. Is it possible to generate by job type? That's a great question. It isn't at the moment, but obviously all the planned maintenance comes out as maintenance. So there, the only thing you could obviously use there, as we sort of lent to earlier on in the webinar, was your task types. That would be your way, Christine, to highlight the different tasks, because obviously Plan only uses maintenance. Can that report be tailor-made with customer logos? Yes, it can. So if you like the look of the plan report and you want your logo on it, please let us know and we can get that scheduled in for you. And I understand why David's asking. Obviously, if we're going to attach that to a site, we want that branded for your company. It more than likely will have quite a brazen plug of Joblogic, David, somewhere on there, but we will put your logo on it. Can you put the PPM on a spreadsheet? Yes, we can export it for you in Planlogic, so you could have that on a spreadsheet. Is there any way for engineers to add existing assets to a maintenance whilst on site? Yes, that's a setting, Martin, which I'm sure Glenn has explained. If not, then please give us a call. Can you see if a plan has been set up in the Planlogic screen? Yeah, just by going into plan details on that one. Okay guys, thanks for all the questions. Again, just to clear up on that last one, please remember your engineers adding assets is a setting that we can turn on for you, and obviously if you want that doing, please let us know. Other than that, again, thanks for your time and your attendance, and hopefully look forward to speaking to you again next week. Okay, thanks a lot guys, take care, bye bye.